execution necessary with these complicated Pikachu combo routes.
Yeah.
ShinyMark has the iron will to wear Sonics down. There aren't many players in the world who can claim to be able to go blow for blow, minute for minute, hour for hour in Sonic sets. But ShinyMark has the mentality to claim the victory. But first, we got to get out of pools.
That is true. And we have two of the best Pikachus in the world here, and not just ShinyMark, but also Esam, two characters that can beat down Sonic. Might be the hero that you need for this bracket, but we'll have to find out who's going to be able to make it out, because Lima stands in between ShinyMark's way to victory. So let's see what happens here. The prodigal Bayonetta main from both Texas and now South Carolina is going to be looking to make some waves here against ShinyMark, an online demon himself, now taken to offline.
In addition, we got to give a shout out to what Lima did at the last Coinbox Invitational as well, because Lima was another one of those players that showed up, actually got a spot by the LCQ and finished with a top 8 victory on the invitational side. Lima has the history here at District D. So now, is it going to be a new page in the book, or will Lima be making a very, very short sequel?
It's hard to say. Lima has always been a terror of the East Coast, especially since he is now firmly on the East Coast. Has been to many tournaments here and elsewhere, but this is where we find out if Lima is able to. What is he doing? Is he taking a video?
Yeah, just like, hey, look at the venue.
He's taking. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. We're just doing the button check, so it's no worries. But Lima definitely taken aback by the energy of the venue. We'll have to see what happens when these two actually get to scrapping.
This stage also is going to be an interesting one because we know what Pikachu can do underneath the edge. This is a spot where you can go underneath that platform with side B, use a Rising Thunder, and then immediately get your angles correct with that up B quick attack. So this could be stall central from ShinyMark. Lima is going to have to do quite a bit of work to make sure that this electric rodent comes out to play.
That's true. I mean, with Small Battlefield being the way that it is, a smaller version of PS2, one that we consider to be quote-unquote neutral. This is definitely one of those ones that does create like some unique differences, just because Bayonetta has like different combos off of the specific heights of the platforms, which are slightly different than the PS2 ones. So there's lots that you can do here. Obviously, ShinyMark has been practicing his quick attack angles. You didn't exactly get to see it out there on stream, but when we were looking at the button check, ShinyMark's very, very specific about making sure his quick attack angles are pristine and ready to go, because you've got to be able to mix those up, or else Bayonetta, an edge guard monster, will be able to take stocks and more.
Yeah, this is a character in Pikachu where if you get edge guarded, it's kind of that your opponent called you out. You have to make sure that you have every angle available. If, for instance, you are having a little bit of trouble with those 45 degrees or those 65 degrees angles, then
skill
your
issue.
opponent, it's a skill issue, 100%. I always say that this is a character in Pikachu that every now and then you got to give up a stock to the angels, though. Every now and then you'll get a little bit of snapback or something like that. You'll look at your controller and be like, wait, I guess God decided to take a stock of mine. It ain't my fault. What can you do?
I didn't need it. I didn't need it. As long as you feel like
unironically, this character, people forget this character is busted. Esam is 100% correct. Pikachu is busted. But
Esam will never let us forget, but sometimes we do forget whether we like it or not.
I mean, the people don't have his memory.
People don't have his memory, and of course, like, Esam isn't able to remind us as much. You know, it's very infrequent that he goes out to tournaments like this. So it is always nice to see, because not just having ShinyMark, but also having Esam, we get to see that this character is still relevant in this meta, is still potentially, as I mentioned, the hero for this bracket, potentially.
I would not be surprised if we end up seeing ShinyMark making a deep run. Like, this is the player that, if I had to put one exclamation point next to anybody, it would be ShinyMark, given that, I think, like, this is the 4th scene? And we actually saw the ShinyMark take first at Smash Factor 11 over Sonics relatively recently, got the double
ShinyMark's
elim.
been on the rise.
Yeah, this is a player that, in addition to having those online victories that show that, you know, offline, I got it too, dog.
That's true. That's true. You know, and ShinyMark has had I would say a rough ride in some of these tournaments. You know, it's like eventually you're gonna get matchup checked. You know, that's just the nature of the game with over 85 characters.
Do you know?
But at the same time, Pikachu is a character that does have a lot of viability even in those losing matchups. You know, you have enough mix-up potential. You have enough really safe combo ability that really makes Pikachu a threat to be dealt with. And a lot of people are underestimating that. So I definitely want to see what happens from ShinyMark. I want to see what happens from Esam here at this tournament, because those two players, of course, piling in a character that is very good but sometimes underrated. You know, this is going to be a big test.
Also, y'all, we should talk about like the low tier upsets that we've already seen.
Oh,
We
true.
saw the K. Rool upset against Terry in Riddles previously. Before that, we actually had Crepe Salé with a Steve player from the EU, from France specifically,
France, yeah.
getting upset by TMZ's very own Zap on Bowser Jr. Are we going to see another tier list flip with Bayonetta, a character that a lot of people still say is mid-tier, and potentially even lower mid-tier, though that's Cope in my book.
But
Going up against a top-tier
I agree.
Pikachu.
Very much so. But yeah, you're right. Matchups are so important here because it's like, even if you have one of the best characters in the game in Steve, you still have to deal with some of those lesser-known matchups. If you don't have a Bowser Jr. that you got to deal with, in Crepe Soleil, maybe he just doesn't have the experience to deal with that. And then Zap is able to capitalize, and that's just kind of how it goes. You never know what's lurking around the corner, so you got to be prepared for every eventuality. And ShinyMark versus Lima, we're already seeing them step up to the plate. The unexpected eventuality will come through very fervently here in the set.
All right, the players are locked in. Let's get it here. We are here at the Invitational. Pools match is starting out. ShinyMark versus Lima and Nerf. Who you got?
It's hard to say. Like I said, Lima has the 1-0 record over ShinyMark, but we do know that T-Jolt is going to be so important here. ShinyMark's got to keep a firm hold on that trigger finger if he wants to let that rip, because Lima will be able to take a lot of liberties with that Witch Time. And already off the side, we're taking a lot of resources as well, but ShinyMark definitely been in this situation before. Just a firm hand on the resources as well. We're good.
But we landed one down air at low percents against Bayonetta. That is nothing. This character's recovery is not to be flexed on. Bayo's going to make it back from just about anywhere. And then look at that, just bails out downward angled side B. And now Bayo in advantage trying to take Pikachu off the top. But this character, tiny hitbox, a little bit floatier, easy to DI out of these low percentage combos. And ShinyMark wiggling that stick just a little bit.
Yeah, the light nature of Pikachu is going to be a detriment for Lima if he wants to get those consistent combos as well. You're going to have to mix up your options as well. Follow up the SDI, because ShinyMark is looking for any escape option, looking for the platform cancel reset on the quick attack as well. And yeah, Lima finding it very difficult to actually pin down ShinyMark on ledge. This is going to be a game of edge guards, and I think that ShinyMark is already setting himself up with a great resource.
Also digging those hitboxes there in the corner, just tossing out 2 or 3 in a row. That's a too low of a recovery. The really weak wall bounce messing up ShinyMark. That's one of those where I didn't think I needed to tech, and because I didn't, I'm dead.
Right, and of course, like you end up buffering something like that, that could be a death knell as well. But we see the heel slide on the platform, not going to go anywhere, and that gives ShinyMark the ability to go for a Thunder, just a little bit extra damage. But Lima not going to get spiked just yet. Has to go for the re-engage off that, but that we see like a quick footstool off that ledge jump. So
and then like 3 regrabs in a row.
Yeah, right.
Lima had no invulnerability whatsoever, but ShinyMark could not land a single hitbox. With a little tomahawk grab, toss him off stage one more time. Lima trying to recover. So far, these T-Jolts have not been able to 2-frame whatsoever.
But it's not about that. It's about the threat, right? Because it's like, obviously in the air, Lima cannot Witch Time that. Like, it's very, very risky for you to do so, and you don't really gain too much off of it. So ShinyMark has got to be very, very specific to go for these T-Jolts when he knows that Lima is looking for a recovery option. So something like the ABK getting sniped by the T-Jolt could be very good, and you only need one of those, you know.
Mistech again, but does manage to make it back and gets the down air aggressive hitbox from ShinyMark, and kind of needs it right now. Down a full stock and a little bit of change right here. And look at Lima being very patient, crossing up this shield and tossing out so many hitboxes that Shiny's like, I could surely punish one of these, right? No.
Exactly, but Lima getting a lot of resets here on the ledge, not really perturbed by anything ShinyMark is throwing out. Still very eagerly looking for more reversal opportunities. This could be what he needs.
Trying to recover low and actually gets a cross up. Yeah, that's one thing that Lima can't really challenge particularly well. It does not have the mobility to chase that deep.
Okay, but we get a forward air, and now we get nice reverse up air as well. That strings into itself super nicely. So ShinyMark getting an early spike as well, but Lima so quick and has to go for the air dodge. We're getting nothing after that. So yeah, you can tell, of course, the Witch Time being thrown out just in case ShinyMark wants to throw out something. But Lima got a little bit too greedy there, and you can tell that Lima's just looking for any escape option. ShinyMark's not handing it to him.
I had to crack up right there with ShinyMark. Just tries to get the grab. Lima retreats the platform. ShinyMark just, all right, I'll chase you off there. The ultimate disrespect.
This is what I gotta do. He's like, sometimes you gotta go for that kind of stuff. But great angles on the quick attack still from ShinyMark. In the early part of the set in game 1, I definitely expect that ShinyMark is going to be able to get by from a lot of Lima's edge guards, but we need to see how Lima reacts. How is the counterplay going to go throughout this set?
Great.
Nice.
You needed that bats to survive right there. And then the cross-up, the DI mixed with the back air. Lima didn't get a chance to reverse that, and ShinyMark was expecting to go off the left side of the screen. Instead, DIing hard right, an early exit.
Right, and early because of the lightness of Pikachu, you know, it's like that kind of stuff can be very, very important for Lima to secure some early unexpected kills. Because ShinyMark, you know, you make one wrong mistake on the DI angle, and any of those mix-ups could be extremely volatile in this set. Bayonetta has the kill power we've already seen in things like the back air, can struggle to kill sometimes, but on Pikachu I feel like that's less of an issue. Back to small battlefield. What do you think, Scabs?
It feels as though this is a stage that we're going to be seeing quite a bit of in this set. Like, both characters do really, really well here, and I've seen them counterpick it a couple times against each other in those coin boxes online. It's very, very even. Both characters can play defensively here. It feels like the first stock and sometimes even the first interaction can determine how a match goes.
Yeah, it is hard to like see a set like that because it's like, oh, you just assume that someone gets an early lead and, oh, I guess they're going to be doing okay in this game. But like, I want to see some comebacks. I want to see Lima try to get himself back from some of these deficits, or ShinyMark in reverse. Like, whoever takes the lead, I want to see a more competitive, you know? It's like, I think that both of them are trying to like recognize that one interaction could be incredibly important. So that's why both of them are afraid to pull the trigger right now.
Yeah, both of them are just tossing out safe hitboxes right there. You saw Lima try to get a little over-extensive, a little over-aggressive with that down air and gets punished. Instead, reversal, another up B, but cannot land that forward air. Great DI ShinyMark easily holding up and out.
But the footstool as well. Lima looked for some openings, just any opportunity, and try to reset. And said, okay, I might be landing, but I can get a footstool and then air dodge back down towards the ground. That allows him the ability to kind of mix up ShinyMark and keep it hard for him to predict what's going on in neutral. Still avoiding all of the T-jolts, and even then past the down air. Lima looking so good, wants to go all the way down there, but look at that! You got too greedy, and ShinyMark is able to bait out these mix-ups. Hard to tell which side he's going towards.
That's one of those Tom and Jerry things. You go ahead and reach your hand into the rat hole. You never know what's going to come out right there. Box of TNT in that position. ShinyMark explosive under that stage. Stock does explode right there for him, though, so not too big of a lead in this position. And I kind of feel like that's what we're going to get. Stock 1, Lima having a 2-stock lead early on. That's going to be the exception to the rule. These two are too well balanced in this matchup.
You can see Lima trying to go for a footstool off stage as well, is getting right up close to ShinyMark. Now that's a risk here because obviously ShinyMark can get one of those reversal opportunities. You snag one of those clutch up airs to anti-air when you see something happen and a reversal is in the works. But Lima still fighting for his life. This is so even right now, Scabs. I feel like neither of these two have really made any edge in this 1v1.
Yeah, on stage, Shiny seems to have the neutral a little bit more locked down than Lima. Has to be very careful of those projectiles getting which time. But off stage, it's been all Lima by and large. Lima's been able to get those big disjointed hitboxes to intercept Shiny's recovery options. But the problem is, like, when we're back on stage, you get a combo, you get a reset, you have to make something out of it. Lima hasn't been able to get a stock out of these edge guards or these ledge traps. Shiny just too slippery.
Yeah, definitely. Like going for things like instant ledge drop into up air, like that's something that can catch Lima on the ledge, make him think twice about standing there menacingly and trying to prepare an edge guard situation. ShinyMark has already won a couple times in the neutral, and the damage is definitely showing it. We have a couple mix-ups, and maybe that's not the right one. You have to go for the second charge of the quick attack, and this time Lima takes a few liberties, but how quickly ShinyMark can disengage, put feet back on ground, and overtake just enough time to get that trump to back air, and ShinyMark is taking the lead here.
And that trump is something that Shiny goes for more than just about any other player. We've already seen it 3 times this set. You have to be reacting incredibly quickly when you're in the corner.
Quick reset as well, gets right back to ledge and resets himself. So now we've got more damage. The ABK angle down is going to be enough to kind of deal with ShinyMark's aggression, but Lima still has yet to pull the trigger in a meaningful way. We got to get this reversal, and that's exactly what we need. Love to see it. Lima taking him right next to the blast zone and dealing the death blow. That's just enough, and now we're still fighting in this. What?
The double parry, the drop shield confidence from Lima right there. I'm digging it. This is one interaction, one combo string away from being an even game. Lima hounding ShinyMark off stage yet again. I think actually Lima saved Shiny there.
A little bit. I think the angle, I think there was just enough distance where the quick attack probably would have gotten back. You just have to call out the angle, but Lima did get him closer and closer to the ledge, so didn't do himself any favors. But ShinyMark looking for a grab, or like a half-stage run-up grab. Maybe a little bit too tunnel-visioned here, but we still got chances.
The short stature of this Pikachu is also making it hell for Lima to get approach options 2 or 3 times in a row. ShinyMark, I don't know if he's purposefully crouching underneath Lima's options, but this side B just hasn't been particularly effective in the air as an approach tool in neutral.
Well, what's interesting is that his spot dodge also kind of shrinks him down a little bit, so in the end of it, he's still Hungrybox shrunk. He's still able to kind of low profile out of this stuff, and right out of the shield, the up smash is the option. ShinyMark is on the board.
That is a spacing mistake from Lima right there. Anytime you hit with the heel, the toe, there's really not that much that Pikachu can do. This character doesn't have a ton of quick disjoints. You have to get that dash in up smash, which is a little bit slower. But in that spot, you hit with like the calf, you hit with the knee of that down tilt. It is very punishable. You want to use that move to snuff out Pikachu's approaches, you can, but you have to be particular about which hitbox.
That is true, especially with a character who has good out of shield options like Pikachu.
Agreed.
You do have really quick frame options. Maybe on some other character you can get away with that kind of misspaced option, but yeah, ABK, when you hit that and you're just above the opponent, that's not much you can do against Pikachu. You know, Pikachu will take you for a ride and take a lot of liberties as well. So be careful here, because one of those well-spaced ABKs could be just enough for you to witch time out or air dodge out and get yourself back out of danger. But Lima getting a little too close for comfort, yet again, too close to the fire. ShinyMark puts himself firmly on the board. We are going into Game 3 with 1 game apiece, Scabs. And so far, the counterplay has been good on both sides.
We saw Game 1, ShinyMark got to a bit of a deficit and then immediately started chipping away at it. We saw right there again with Lima. It does feel as though the X factor has been those off-stage interactions. When Lima got that like 80% kill on the right side against ShinyMark in that last game, it was a beacon of hope for Lima. It's like, oh, all I need to do is get those confirms and I am right back in here.
Yeah, exactly. But we are still sticking with small battlefield. You mentioned this was going to be a familiar stage, and it certainly is so far 3 for 3. So the counterplay is so important here because the stage is the same. And these both players are going to have to figure out, like, what are the gameplay options that I have to make a chance to victory here. So far, Lima might be showing his hand a little bit too much. You know, stuck in the corner, has to go for one of those defensive options. And this time, ShinyMark is ready with the patience necessary to bait out those options and punish effectively. The whip punish things on like Witch Time and Bats are going to be super important for ShinyMark to capitalize off of.
Just as important is actually catching some of these landings. It feels still Lima has not been getting a ton of grabs. Shiny has been very consistently shielding after these aggressive options, and 2 or 3 times in a row, he just wiggles his shield, thinking that you're going to get the side B immediately from Lima. Instead, I want to see some dash grabs coming up.
That is true. And we talk about how SDI is super important against Bayonetta, but against a multi-hit character like Pikachu can also be very viable. So you can see Lima starting to do the right things to get out of these combos, especially things like the back air, being able to disengage well enough that ShinyMark has to default to things like the T-Jones, which could get him into trouble if a Witch Time comes out at the right time. Still getting caught by one of those T-Jones there in the mid-stage. ShinyMark starting to bear down a little bit, trying to play that mid-range spacing, where you're not really in danger yourself, but one quick ABK could close the gap here, and Lima so far is doing that very nicely.
And this match is so important, or you do not want to go into this pool where you are the 4 and 5 seed down to your opponent, because do you really think those 2 LCQ people are going to be able to topple your opponent here in ShinyMark or Lima? You don't want to root for those people to make you the #1 seed. You want to claim it right here. This match could be the deciding factor on who gets the top seed of this pool, and already ShinyMark looking to jump out to an early lead.
Loving the down, like the drag down with the Nair into down smash. Very nice multi-hit options yet again. Stuff that Lima's got to be ready for, because, you know, there is a very small window of opportunity where you could probably survive or at least get out of that. But ShinyMark not going to let that happen at all. Is wiggling the shield upwards to avoid a poke when he knows that his shield is slightly smaller, especially for things like ABK angled up could poke on even a small character like Pikachu.
I am so impressed by ShinyMark's discipline with the DI die out on these strings.
Yes.
Every single time ShinyMark is holding hard out towards the blast zone because ShinyMark recognizes that Lima's not going to be able to land a kill move. I need to get the heck out of dodge to avoid any kind of a DI mix-up.
That's the game sense coming into play, knowing what's going to kill from Bayonetta and what's just a combo tool. Say at 127, I am in danger for some things like the back air and stuff, but for everything else, I can take those hits and keep disengaged, keep backing off, and letting it reset. Get yourself a good angle with the quick attack off stage, and it's just like nothing ever happened. You take a little bit of damage on the chin, and you go right back into the fight.
Actually missed a tech on that platform,
Whoa.
but Lima couldn't capitalize with the slide off. ShinyMark's defense has been ironclad so far, just using these low risk to no risk options like T-Jolt and those up Bs. And so far, Lima unable to land any kind of a strong hitbox against this easily in kill percent Pikachu.
Right, and even then, the Witch Time, when it activates, there's not a lot of time off the T-Jolt, so ShinyMark is doing it at a distance where he doesn't have to worry too much about what's coming behind it. He knows that if he just does it at like a far enough distance, the Witch Time might come out, but it's not going to do anything. And Lima is still struggling to get any kind of punish on these T-Jolts that he knows are going to be Witch Time.
And how do you approach Pikachu under these platforms?
You don't.
It's so
Do
miserable. ShinyMark is doing such a good job by doing so little. We go to the corner, we play defensively, we react to our opponent's options, and then eventually Lima has to start going for these smash attacks. You are breaking down this neutral game that Lima is so well known for.
Yep. Okay, but we've got another victory. Finally taking the first stock off of ShinyMark, and Lima is trailing in Game 3. This is looking like ShinyMark's game to lose, if anything. Getting a quick out-of-shield nair, and then Lima sees blood in the water, says that, okay, maybe I can get a whiff punish here. No such chances. ShinyMark is going to back off and then let Lima make his own grade.
Did you think that Pikachu's going to whip something in your face? No, it's always a bait. Anytime you try to drop your shield, there is going to be a hard punish coming. The forward tilt actually sliding off stage. I'm digging that from ShinyMark here. Tries to get the neutral air to combo, but it doesn't work out. Lima recovering super low and doesn't have the jump. The punish came from ShinyMark. This is looking a little bit dire all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. You know, Lima kind of like looking up to the skies for some motivation, potentially. ShinyMark had his number in that game. You know, again, it was the quick early lead that he was able to build slowly but surely, and Lima, unfortunately, was just kind of like sitting there, unable to really wrest back control of this game. Which means that we're going to have to go in with a renewed vigor into game number 4 because this is crunch time. Lima wants to take this to a game 5 as we all would expect, but sometimes that tunnel visioning, sometimes that energy might get you in the wrong place at the wrong time. A whiff grab, and ShinyMark now starts to set up on ledge. Down air after down air after down air, and we're going to look for another one, but even with the multiple resets, Lima squeaks by for a short time, but ShinyMark is right back in the kitchen.
Can you show me how Lima was able to make it back, Nerf?
No.
I have no idea. Every other player in this venue
out and around
can intercepted by that.
Only a really good Bayonetta player will be able to conserve the resources necessary to save himself there, because ShinyMark was putting up a hell of defense.
Using that triplet of the forward air and trying to get something more out of it, but again, ShinyMark just changing up the tempo for those recovery options. Forward air, another edge trap situation. T-Jolt's out and goes for the standard get up coverage with that forward smash. I dig it, not getting too much out of it, but we just getting a reset. That's fine.
That's true. Okay, now a quick aggressive option off of the ledge, and Lima lets it rip. But how did ShinyMark avoid that? You know, Pikachu is just too small for Smash. That's all I can say. One forward smash is not going to be enough for Lima to put ShinyMark in the dirt. You're going to have to take him right up to the blast zone yourself and do the job. So Lima's still in this, 2 stocks apiece, dead even.
That's the thing. Every now and then you're going to just toss out a big, strong smash attack, and that might work. That might be pretty successful at some points, but the consistency of Lima getting that combo string all the way across the stage, all the way into the magnifier, into the 1-2-3, that'll do every single time if you don't DI properly.
Uh-oh, but this time, you know, Lima is recognizing that ShinyMark is keeping this trigger finger so ready to go with these down airs. Is so ready, and it's a lasting option too. It still is active enough that it can catch even at a slight delay. Lima cannot rest on his laurels, has got to be extremely cautious about what happens next, because you get these confirms, you get these combos, but then you have to back off. You know that ShinyMark is still looking for a chance to take control. Every single time he's in disadvantage, he's going out, he's going to back off, but then right back in with an aggressive option, just looking for anything to take some liberty. Let's see.
now the question becomes, can Lima get a combo starter going? So far, it's just been straight hits for a little bit. I feel like if Lima at 81%, this is exactly when you want to start getting these strings here. Does get the neutral air, but not nearly far enough off stage to really start to extend that. Couple back airs swinging, not going to connect one, not going to connect the second. Can't even get the forward throw right there. You know Lima was trying to get that dash forward grab, but just gets clipped by these multi-hits.
Uh-oh, catch the roll in as well. The tech roll covered by ShinyMark. You know, he's looking for that short hop, kind of mid-stage, doesn't really fast fall, but like does kind of fall back a little bit with the forward air. ShinyMark's spacing has been super, super good, and again, using those multi-hits that he knows are going to be very, very important for Lima to give a lot of respect to.
These mix-ups in the corner, though, from Lima, next level so far this game.
Oh, yeah.
Little like wave land onto the platform, like I am really digging these tools. It is so rare to see a Bayonetta be able to mix up a Pikachu movement-wise. Typically, it's the other player and the other character.
Oh, no. But even the dash attack on shield, Lima was facing the other way. There's no chance. You can't get a back air out of shield because Pikachu is too short. You cannot get your normal out of shield options in that situation because of who you're fighting. And ShinyMark knows that. Is still going to look for something here. Bats within just enough, and up tilt to back air. The kill confirmed comes back stronger than ever. And Lima, it might have been a little bit fuzzy there, but we still got it. So ShinyMark going to have to put a lot of respect on the bread and butters for Lima. Still really good and kept on hand.
And now Lima's saying, Shiny, you ain't the only one who could sit underneath these platforms.
I'm
exactly.
Awake. You come to me, bro.
You're not the only one that can play patiently.
You come to me. I make the rules now. I set the pace, but no pace is set long enough for ShinyMark to have to deal with it. He's going to break that mold with a dash attack right in Lima's face, and now we have a chance to make something different here. Lima was not able to get any extra credit, unfortunately, so it is what it is.
You know, we are back to neutral, and I still do favor Pikachu ever so slightly in this venue of the matchup. Tries to get the down air, can't get it, does get another one. Do we have the double jump?
This might be it, guys. Got to be careful here. No trump, though, so Lima doesn't get a chance to make something happen here. ShinyMark just going to keep rinsing and repeating the forward air, looking for the snipes as well with the T-Jolt. His angles have been so immaculate here.
In the corner, but actually goes for, looks like a down tilt. Great upbeat preemptive lead from Lima. Shiny used the double jump, though. Does land on the platform to get it reset, but misses the tech, so the combo continues, and look at that damage. All of a sudden, Bayo with a solid lead and an opportunity for much, much more. Tries for the lingering hitbox of the Nair. Can't connect, though.
We talked about how it's going to be a game of edge guards, and so far, Lima is looking to make some big waves in that edge guard situation. Yet again, we are missing the trump. No tech, but no reset. We don't get a jab lock, and ShinyMark doesn't get anything, and it's going to be the witch time. Lima takes game number 4, and we're going to game 5, Scavs. ShinyMark got way too close, got too greedy, got tunnel visioned, and now Lima gets one single interaction to take the game and bring it to a good set here.
And you were talking about the safe, consistent multi-hits from Pikachu. Right there, that spelt doom because ShinyMark tossed out that forward air, tried to get the drag down, misspaced it ever so slightly, and Lima's like, I'm just going to toss out this witch time and make sure that I can get that kill confirm instead.
That's crazy. So we're still in this. Lima, even though he was down most of that game, we saw how in game number 3, I think specifically, ShinyMark was pretty well up in the entire game, but then closed it out. This time, Lima is not going to take that deficit line down and is going to claw his way back. We're going to game 5. No change of scenery, though. Small battlefield. It's all going to be up to the players and how the counterplay comes to an apex here.
Yeah, a seesaw set going back and forth. It feels like we are going to different genres of music in every single one of these. We started this off at a little bit of a funeral dirge where both of the players very slow and reluctant to play aggressively. This last game, though, both of them turning up the tempo. A little bit of rock and roll to end our set, potentially. We got to see who's going to end up on top with that solo on the end of the platform.
Loving the tomahawk grab here on the ledge. You know, no one really expecting that, including Lima. ShinyMark being able to get a little bit more damage as well, keeping this as even as possible. These are both two really, really light characters, as we mentioned, so every ounce of damage is going to be so crucial here. We do get a trump, but no follow-up. Lima holding straight in on that trump, so that means he's able to squeak right by as ShinyMark looks for a quick trip off that stage to the blast zone. This time, no tomahawk grab going to go for Lima's favor. So I have to wait something out, and now we're seeing ShinyMark be patient when he knows Lima is looking for some panic options like that witch time.
already with a slight lead, and we're going to get the up tilt back here, but did not land the sweet spot, so no stock right there at 123. This is kind of the point where Pikachu's going to start to fall out of some of these kill confirms, so now potentially we'll have ShinyMark living a long time if he doesn't get clipped by that Witch Time.
Right, but even if you do get clipped by that Witch Time, it doesn't really matter because you just hold shield and you're all good. And Lima being off stage, there's not enough distance to really close the gap. There's not much you can do as a follow-up. These Witch Times have really just come up short for Lima. So ShinyMark has gotten the green light to keep going for those spacing options, those zoning options. And now with another really strong up smash, it feels like Lima is down yet again in game number 5, but we saw how this happened last game. But wait, no way, you're not dead yet. Please, 20%, I'm begging you, man.
Great TI from Lima. Yeah, that was definitely one of those where you call that incorrectly and your stock's gone, and just look at your opponent like, what did you do to me?
That's it, 20%. If you had died, I would have screamed, but that's okay. No tech, and that means Lima takes the stock. We are still in this here, Scabs. 50% is nothing compared to what he can put on in one combo as well. We could easily see this go right back to even in an instant.
And at 150, that might actually have been untechable. If that's the case, great call out from Lima. Just recognizing that in that position, toss out that lingering hitbox, and dare the Pikachu to hit a button out of the edge.
And the spacing as well, the backing off, the hitting of the shield, and then disengaging so effective with the drift that Bayonetta has. It means that Lima can poke ShinyMark's shield without really any consequences. It's a very non-committal way to do it, but you're putting on the pressure, and it's making ShinyMark feel a little bit more nervous, more pressure.
Speaking of nervous, you see that jump out on the forward air on shield?
Sir.
That's one of those where, am I going to get crossed up? Is he going to back off? Am I going to get tomahawked at the end of this? Just please get me out of dodge.
Get away from
Lima,
me.
very smart to just jump away. And now it's very smart also just land directly and then go with the aggressive up B. Again, just playing around that shield so well.
The downer as well. Lima is starting to mix up his combo finishers as well, getting lots of good damage and sending away so that ShinyMark can't just go right back in with a hitbox to try to reverse the situation. Instead, now we're getting a juggle here, and this could be really good because Lima is in danger of dying to another up air if he's not careful here.
In danger down to just about anything, and Shiny wants it to happen right now.
Up throw? Yep, that's it.
On that platform. At 160, just about anything would do, and you saw the up smash come out directly before that. Shiny's like, listen, I know we can't allow this deficit to go too small.
But still had like a couple pummels as well to make sure that we secure that, just in case. You never know. It's like, I know my percents. I'm definitely that kind of player, but at least I know. All right.
I'm curious when we're going to start seeing things like forward smash come out at edge from ShinyMark.
True.
Like, that is something that we haven't really seen this entire set other than one interaction to catch a standard get up. Like, you could use that to edge guard Bayo. That's disjointed enough to flank with and sometimes beat that up B if you space it appropriately.
Very true, Scabs. Still going to go underneath the will he, won't he. Which side is it going to be? And Lima's still guessing, unable to really guess right in the situation. So ShinyMark gets out of jail for free, going under the stage to do his best. Now Lima still trying to get a couple of these combo starters. Any single hit confirm could be enough for him. But that angle, again, the spacing on that ABK is just not good enough. And ShinyMark is going to be able to find his way out of the corner, maybe.
He intercepts, but doesn't end up working. Does get the tech. Shiny needed that one entirely.
Certainly. All right, more damage here as well. 59%. He's still alive. 134. A back air will kill here, so he's got to be extremely cautious about how he goes from here on out because, yeah, that back air, you can tell Lima's keeping it ready to go. But great shielding from ShinyMark. The shield discipline has been so important for him here. Whoa, 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 whoa.
The cross up to the forward? Yeah, this is looking a little bit dicey. It feels as though Lima just cannot get anything going because of the shield discipline from ShinyMark. I want to see something like potentially just a tomahawk. Just get this Pikachu out of shield so you can actually get something going with a kill confirm.
We still have all those resources. Doesn't catch that panic option. You can tell Lima's still looking for something, a way out.
There's no jump, I think, Nerd.
No jump, like a few resources, but not much to speak of. But Lima's still going to go for a double ABK here above the ledge as well. Now not going to get anything, and ShinyMark with a full stock lead. He's, you know
the vibes.
Flash the thunder, just in case. Don't get too close. Don't try to edge guard me.
Now in this position, he actually intercepts an anti-air forward air, and that was enough to do it. Lima completely unprepared for ShinyMark to switch to an aggressive option in that situation, taking it in a nail-biter of a Game 5.
I mean, when you switch your style on a dime like that,